Hello everyone, my name is Simran and I am going to teach you mathematics. Students, in the last class we have discussed about the exercise number 1 and we have practiced the first exercise in the complete way, where we discussed about the first 14 questions of the exercise. Okay, so today we will be introducing a new exercise to you, that is exercise number 5.2. And students, in this exercise we are going to learn about some more concepts. So have a look at the new concepts. What are the new concepts, students, of exercise 5.2? First of all, students will be talking about the intersecting lines. What are intersecting lines, students? Intersecting lines are the lines that are intersecting at a common point. Okay, students? So what do you mean by intersecting line? The lines that are cutting out each other at a certain point are called intersecting lines. Alright, students? For example, if this is line L, okay, and if this is line M, then these two lines are cutting out each other at this common point, right? And this common point is called point of intersection, and these two lines will be called together intersecting lines. That means that these two lines are intersecting at a particular point. Alright, students? For example, अगर ये दोनों lines आपस में एक दूसरे को एक point पे काटती हैं, एक point से गुजरती हैं होकर, तो उस पॉइंट को हम पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरसेक्शन कहते हैं और इन दोनों लाइंस को हम इंटरसेक्टिंग लाइंस कहते हैं. ऑलराइट स्टूडेंट्स, सो व्हाट इज इंटरसेक्टिंग लाइंस? टू लाइंस M, L, N intersect if they have a point in common. This common point O is the point of intersection. Okay, students, this O is called point of intersection. Okay, students, so this is line L and this is line M. Okay, if two lines are cutting out each other at a certain point, then these two lines are called intersecting lines, and the point where they cut out each other is called point of intersection. Okay, students, so write it like that. What do you mean by point of intersection? Point of intersection, okay, what is point of intersection? A point where the lines intersect, okay, intersect with each other. Alright, so basically what do you mean by the point of intersection? Point of intersection is the point where the lines intersect at each other. Okay, students? So now we'll be talking about a new concept, that is transversal. Students, what do you mean by a transversal? For example, students, when one line is cutting out two or more lines at different points, that one line which is cutting 2-3 lines at two distinct points are called transversal. Okay, so that line which is cutting two or more lines at distinct points is called transversal. Okay, students, have a look. ये जो लाइन है बेसिकली ये इन दोनों लाइंस को कट करके जा रही है, इन दोनों लाइन को इंटरसेक्ट करके जा रही है, तो इस लाइन को हम क्या बोलेंगे? ट्रांसवर्सल. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, सो दिस विल बी कॉल्ड ट्रांसवर्सल. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, so basically a line that intersect two or more lines at distinct points is called transversal. Alright, students, so basically if this is a line, okay, and this line is cutting out these two lines, okay, this line is cutting out these two lines at two distinct points, like this point, okay, this point A and this point B. Okay, this line M, L is cutting out the line M and N at two distinct points, that is A and B. So it means that line L is transversal to line M and N. Okay, students, so basically transversal is a line which is cutting out two or more line at two distinct points. Okay, students, this is all about the transversal. Okay, students, now we'll be talking about a new concept based upon this transversal. Alright, students, have a look of the transversal. What do you mean by transversal angles? Okay, so when there is a transversal make number of angles with the lines. Okay, students, so now we'll be talking about the angles made by transversal. Okay, कि एक ट्रांसवर्सल लाइन कैसे कैसे एंगल्स बनाती है. विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट. ओके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल स्टूडेंट्स, दिस इज अ लाइन P. This line P is cutting out this line L and this line M. So basically line P is transversal line to the line L and to the line M. Okay students, what is the transversal here? P line is the transversal here. Why students? Because P is cutting out, P is intersecting line L and line M at two distinct points like this point and this point. Okay students, so that is why it is called a transversal line. Alright students, now this P is cutting out these two lines and it is making several angles. Okay, for example, this is angle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So basically when a transversal is cutting two lines, it will make 8 angles. Okay, so the angles made by a transversal line when it is cutting any two lines is equal to 8. Okay students, now these 8 angles are categorized in different okay types. Okay students, firstly we'll be talking about the interior angles. What are interior angles students? Suppose if this is a line and if this is a line and a transversal is cutting it like that, okay, then the angles between these two lines, okay, angles between these two lines that are lying in between those lines, okay, are called interior points. Okay, मतलब इंटीरियर पॉइंट्स का क्या होता है, अंदर के पॉइंट्स. ओके, सो इन दोनों लाइंस के जो अंदर वाले पॉइंट्स बनेंगे, अंदर वाले एंगल्स बनेंगे, उनको हम क्या बोलेंगे, इंटीरियर एंगल्स. ऑलराइट स्टूडेंट्स, सो द एंगल्स इन बिटवीन दीज टू लाइंस दैट ट्रांसवर्सल इज कटिंग are called interior angles. Okay students, so what are the interior angles students? This angle 3, okay, this angle 4, this angle 5 and this angle 6. Okay, so 3, 4, 5 and 6 are interior angles. Okay students, 3, 4, 5 and 6 are interior angles. Okay students, so I hope that now you will understand what are the interior angles. Okay, now students will be talking about exterior angles. Okay students, apart from the interior angles we'll be talking about the exterior angles, right? जो angles इंटीरियर एंगल्स नहीं होते उनके बाहर होते हैं. ओके, एक ट्रांसवर्सल दो लाइंस को कट करके जा रही है, तो इंटीरियर एंगल्स तो वो होंगे जो उन दोनों लाइंस के अंदर बन रहे हैं. अब वो एंगल्स जो उन दोनों लाइंस के अंदर नहीं है बल्कि बाहर हैं. ओके, जो एंगल्स बाहर बन रहे हैं उन दोनों लाइंस के, जो लाइंस को ट्रांसवर्सल कट करके जा रही है, उन एंगल्स को हम क्या बोलेंगे, विल कॉल इट एक्सटीरियर एंगल्स. ओके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल स्टूडेंट्स, एंगल 1, angle 2, angle 8 and angle 7. Okay, basically clearly you can see that these 4 angles are forming at the exterior side of these two L, M and line. Okay, so that is why they are called exterior angles. Alright students, so what are the exterior angles? Angle 1, angle 2, angle 7 and angle 8. Okay, these are the exterior angles. Okay students, now students will be talking about corresponding angle. What do you mean by corresponding angles? Okay students, have a look. Corresponding angles are the angles that lies on the same side of the transversal. Okay, lies on the same side of transversal is the first condition. Okay, so basically if this is a transversal, this is one side of transversal. Okay, and for example students, if this is one side of transversal, then this one is the another side of the transversal. Okay, so if this is the first side of transversal and if this is the second side of transversal students, this is first condition. Okay, now students, by corresponding angles will mean that corresponding angles should lie at the same side of transversal. This is the first condition. The second condition is that in the pair of corresponding angles, one angle should be interior and another angle should be exterior. Okay students, एक एंगल क्या हो, इंटीरियर एंगल हो, और एक एंगल क्या हो, एक्सटीरियर एंगल हो. ये तो हुई हमारी सेकंड प्रॉपर्टी. फर्स्ट प्रॉपर्टी क्या थी कि वो एंगल्स जो होंगे वो हमेशा एक ही साइड ऑफ ट्रांसवर्सल पे लाई करेंगे. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, सो बेसिकली बाय कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग एंगल्स विल मीन दिस एंगल 2 and this angle 6. 2 and 6 consecutively together are corresponding angles. Okay, because 2 and 6 you can clearly see lies at the same side of transversal line. Okay, so 2 and 6 are lying at the same side of transversal. 2 is the exterior angle and 6 is the interior angle. So that is why it is the pair of corresponding angles. Okay, for example, this 2 and 6. Okay, now students, you can clearly see, apart from this 2 and 6, tell me what are the more pairs of corresponding angles. Okay students, apart from these two angles, this angle 4 is the interior angle and this angle 8 is the exterior angle, and these two angles are lying at the same side of transversal, right? They are lying at the same side of transversal. That is why these two angles are the corresponding angles. Okay students, so the next pair is angle 4 and angle 8. Okay, these are the corresponding angles pair. Okay, now we have talked about this side of transversal. Now if I am talking about that side of transversal, the corresponding angles will be angle 1 and angle 5, because these are lying at the same side of transversal, as well as students, one angle is in exterior angle and another angle is interior angle. Okay students, so these two angles are corresponding angles, angle 1 and angle 5. Okay, now students, apart from these three pairs, that is 2 and 6, 4 and 8, 1 and 5, one pair of corresponding angle is still there. Just recognize it, take a quick recap that what are the corresponding angle and then find it out. Okay, the corresponding angles next pair is angle 3 and angle 7. Okay, because these two angles are lying at the same side of transversal and also एक exterior है और दूसरा interior है. Okay students, so this pair 3 and 7 is also the pair of corresponding angles. Alright students, now students, we have talked about three types of angles. What kind of angles we have discussed? We have discussed about the interior angles. Okay, we have discussed about the exterior angles. Okay, we have also discussed about the pair of corresponding angles. Okay, now students will be talking about one more type, that is pairs of alternate interior angles. Okay students, first of all we will be talking about alternate angles. What are alternate angles? Alternate का क्या मतलब होता है? उल्टा basically. ठीक है, तो pair of alternate angles क्या होंगे? जो एक दूसरे के opposite हों. Okay students, so by interior will mean अंदर वाले, by exterior will mean बाहर वाले. For example, 1, 2, 3 and 4. In 1, 2, 3 and 4, the exterior angles are 1 and 2 and the interior angles are 3 and 4, right? And if I am talking about these like 5, 6, 7, 8, the interior angles are 5 and 6 and the exterior angles are 7 and 8. Now students, if I am talking about the alternate angles, okay, alternate angles are opposite angles basically. So if this is 4, then the opposite of this is 5. Okay, if this is 3 and then its opposite is 6. Okay, like the angles that are lying on opposite side of transversal. Okay students, in corresponding angles we understood it like the angles should be lying at the same side of transversal, but in the case of alternate angles we are talking about the angles that are lying on another side, like the opposite sides of transversal are alternate angles. Okay students, this is the first condition of alternate angles. Okay, and the second condition is that in the corresponding angles we talked about one should be interior and another should be exterior, but in the case of alternate angles either they are interior or they are exterior. Okay, so they should be same like in the case of exterior or interior, or they should lie at different side of transversal. Okay students, this is the basic difference between the alternate angles and the corresponding angles. Alright students, so if I am talking about pairs of alternate interior angles, by interior angles we are very sure about, we are talking about interior angles. What are the interior angles? Like 3, 4, 5 and 6. We will be talking about these four angles. Okay, but now in the case of interior angles we are talking about alternate interior angles. Okay, so alternate interior angles are 3 and 6. Okay, because 3 is lying at this side of transversal and 6 is lying at this side of transversal. Okay, so alternate interior angles are called 3 and 6. This is first pair, and the second pair 4 and 5, because these two are lying at the opposite side of transversal. Okay students, clearly 3 and 6 and 4 and 5. This is pair of alternate interior angles. Okay students, now students will be talking about same alternate angles, but we'll be talking about alternate exterior angles students. By exterior angles students, we are very clear that we are talking about the angles that are lying at the exterior side. Okay, for example 1, 2 and 7 and 8, we are talking about these 8 angles, right? If I am talking about alternate exterior angles, okay, exterior angles, we are talking about these 4 angles, and now we are talking about alternate. That means that we are talking about 2 and 7. These two are alternate angles, exterior angles. By alternate we mean 2 is lying at this side of transversal and 7 is lying at that side of transversal. Okay, so these two are lying at the opposite side of transversal and they are both exterior. So that is why 2 and 7 is alternate exterior angle students. And the another pair is angle 1 and angle 8. Okay, so angle 1 and angle 8 are also the alternate exterior angles. Okay students, 1 and 8 is also alternate exterior angle. Okay students, now we'll be talking about pairs of alternate angles on the same side of transversal. Okay, I'm talking about pair of interior angles on the same side of transversal. Tell me, firstly think a bit and then tell me what is asked in the question. Pair of interior angles students, basically 3, 5, 6 and 4. These 4 are interior angles, but it is asked that we want the pair of interior angles that are lying on the same side of transversal. मतलब वो इंटीरियर एंगल्स पूछे गए हैं जो कि एक ही साइड के ट्रांसवर्सल पे लाई कर रहे हैं, या तो इस साइड के या फिर इस साइड के. ओके, तो हमें वो इंटीरियर एंगल्स का पेयर बताना है जो कि सेम साइड ऑफ ट्रांसवर्सल पर लाई कर रहे हैं. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, हैव अ लुक, दिस 4 and this 6. Okay, these both angles are interior angles and these both are lying at this side of transversal. So first pair is 4 and 6. Okay students, this is the first pair. Second pair students, this 5 and this 7. Is that so? No, this is not so, because in this case it is interior angle and in this case it is exterior. So do not blindly just it. Okay, think upon your own and then tell. Okay students, now the second pair of interior angles that are lying on the same side of transversal are this angle 3 and this angle 5, because these two angles are lying at the same side of transversal and these both are interior angles. Okay students, so 3 and 5. Alright students, this is all about the angles made by transversal. We are going to study this once again, but before that I am talking about some 2-3 points. Have a look at these points students. What do you mean by transversal of parallel lines? Okay students, if there is a parallel line, for example these two lines are parallel lines, okay students, and there is a transversal that is cutting it out. Okay students, if the two lines are parallel, for example this M line and N line, M line and N line is parallel to one another, and if there is a transversal L that is intersecting these two parallel lines at certain points, okay, it means L is transversal to parallel lines M and N. okay, इससे हमें पता लग रहा है कि कोई दो लाइन्स हैं, एक तो है लाइन M और एक है लाइन N. इन दोनों पैरेलल लाइंस को कोई एक लाइन इंटरसेक्ट करके जा रही है और वो इन्हें दो डिस्टिंक्ट पॉइंट्स पे इंटरसेक्ट कर रही है, इन दोनों पैरेलल लाइंस को. दैट मीन्स कि वो जो थर्ड लाइन है वो इन दोनों लाइंस की क्या होगी, ट्रांसवर्सल होगी स्टूडेंट्स. और हमने अभी अभी पढ़ा है कि जो ट्रांसवर्सल लाइन होती है वो पैरेलल लाइंस के साथ कुछ एंगल्स बनाती है. इट विल मेक सर्टेन एंगल्स विद द पैरेलल लाइंस, द ट्रांसवर्सल लाइन. ओके, so what are the angles made by this transversal on these parallel lines? Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7 and angle 8. Now students, this transversal will make certain angles with the parallel lines, okay. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8 are the angles that are made by this transversal on the parallel lines, okay students. Now students, have a look, when this transversal is cutting out some lines that are parallel on certain points students, then the corresponding angles made by this transversal on the parallel lines are equal to each other, okay students. So basically this 1 and this 6 is equal to each other, okay students. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of corresponding angles are equal in measure. So basically corresponding angles will be equal to each other as the lines are parallel and a transversal is cutting it out, okay students. So this 1 and 6 is equal, this 2 and 5 is equal, this 4 and 8 is equal, and this 3 and 7 is equal, okay students. This is what we meant by corresponding angles. Now students, if the parallel lines are cut by the transversal, then the angles of what angles? Alternate interior angles will be equal in measure, okay students. So if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of alternate interior angles are equal, okay students. So it means that 3 and 6 is equal to each other and 4 and 5 is equal to each other. Why? Because these two are the pairs of alternate interior angles, okay students. Now students, will be talking about one more point. What is that point students? If we are talking about the parallel lines, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal students, then the interior angles that are lying at the same side of transversal will making the supplementary angles, will be making supplementary angles. Look students, if this is transversal and if these are two parallel lines, okay, then the interior side of angles that are lying on the same side of transversal will be making supplementary angles, okay students. If this is angle 1 and if this is angle 2, then angle 1 and angle 2 will be making, okay, what? Supplementary angles, okay. Supplementary angles, okay students, they will be making supplementary angles, okay students. So this is what we have talked about, three concepts. What? If the lines are parallel and if a transversal is cutting it out, then the corresponding angles are equal, alternate interior angles are equal, and the angles that are in the interior and lying at the same side of transversal will be supplementary angles, okay students. Now I am telling you 1 to 2 concepts. Have a look students. We'll be talking about what? We'll be talking about the angles made by the transversal on two lines. Suppose students, this is a transversal, this is a line and this is a line, okay. If this is angle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, okay students. If these are 8 angles, this is line A, this is line B and this is line C, okay. Then what is it? A line is transversal, okay, to line B and line C, okay students. I am just telling you the brief thing that we have discussed, just a brief review of what we have learned, okay students. So students, firstly we will be talking about the corresponding angles, okay. So students, if you are talking about corresponding angles, okay, then do tell me students, if we are talking about corresponding angles, I have told you two main key points of what corresponding angles are. What are they? First students, I have told you that corresponding angles are those angles that are lying on the same side of transversal, okay, lying on same side of transversal, okay. So first point is corresponding angles are lying on the same side of transversal, okay. And the second point was that if there is a pair of the corresponding angle, then one angle should be exterior angle and another angle should be interior angle. Okay, so one angle should be exterior and another angle should be interior. Okay, one angle should be exterior and another angle should be interior. Okay students, what we have told, हमने बोला corresponding angles वो angles होते हैं जो कि ट्रांसवर्सल की एक ही साइड को बिलोंग करते हैं, प्लस उन पेयर में से एक एंगल को क्या होना चाहिए, एक्सटीरियर एंगल, और दूसरे एंगल को क्या होना चाहिए, इंटीरियर एंगल्स. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, अब अगर हम इस फिगर में से हमें बताना हो कि कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग एंगल्स के पेयर कौन कौन से हैं, तो 4 पेयर्स बनेंगे. तो बताइए कि कौन कौन से पेयर्स क्या हैं, कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग एंगल्स हैं. सो जस्ट टेल मी स्टूडेंट्स, विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द पेयर्स. सो फर्स्ट पेयर इज दिस 1 and this 5. Okay students, angle 1 and angle 5. Second pair students, this 2 and 6. Okay, 2 and 6. The third pair students, 4 and 8. Okay, now students, the fourth pair, this 3 and 7. Okay, these are corresponding angles. Okay students, now students will be talking about the angles that are interior. Okay, इंटीरियर एंगल्स. ओके, जो एंगल्स दोनों लाइंस के अंदर की तरफ लाई करते हैं उन्हें हम क्या बोलते हैं, इंटीरियर एंगल्स. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, जैसे इस फिगर में जो ये 4 है, 3 है, 6 है और ये 5 है, ये क्या है, इंटीरियर एंगल्स हैं. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, सो एंगल 4, एंगल 3, एंगल 6 और एंगल 5 क्या है, इंटीरियर एंगल्स हैं, क्योंकि ये इन दोनों लाइंस के बीच में लाई कर रहे हैं. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, इन दोनों लाइन के बीच में लाई कर रहे हैं मीन्स दीज एंगल्स आर सैंडविच्ड इन बिटवीन द लाइंस दैट आर कट बाय द ट्रांसवर्सल. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, नाउ स्टूडेंट्स विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट एक्सटीरियर एंगल्स. What are the exterior angles students? Angles made by the transversal except the interior angles are exterior angles, or basically the angles that are lying at the exterior sides of the lines are exterior angles. Okay students, जो बाहर की तरफ lie करें. For example 1, 2, 7 and 8. Okay students, 1, 2, 7 and 8. These are the एक्सटीरियर एंगल्स. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, अब हमें पता है कि कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग एंगल्स क्या है, इंटीरियर एंगल्स क्या है, एक्सटीरियर एंगल्स क्या है. नाउ विल सी व्हाट आर alternate angles. Okay, so if we are talking about alternate angles students, then there are alternate interior first. Okay students, alternate interior angles. Firstly students, the interior angles, it means that the first condition is angles should be interior angles. Okay, फर्स्ट कंडीशन तो इनकी ये है कि एंगल्स क्या होनी चाहिए, इंटीरियर एंगल्स होनी चाहिए. सेकेंड कंडीशन इज दैट दे बोथ शुड lie on opposite side of transversal. Okay, so students, if I am talking about alternate interior angles, तो दोनों एंगल्स क्या होनी चाहिए, इंटीरियर एंगल्स होनी चाहिए, और उन दोनों एंगल्स को अलग अलग साइड ऑफ ट्रांसवर्सल पे लाई करना चाहिए. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, फॉर एग्जांपल इस पिक्चर में 3 और 5 और 6 और 4, 6 और 4 और 3 और 5, these two angles are the pair of alternate interior angles students. Okay, these two are the pairs of alternate interior angles students. Now students will be talking about alternate exterior angles. Okay, what will be talking about alternate exterior angles. Okay, The same thing, the first conditions, the angles should be exterior angles, okay? Angles should be exterior. Exterior angles, okay? And the second condition, lie on opposite side of transversal, okay? तो एंगल्स कौन से होंगे? ऑल्टरनेट एक्सटीरियर एंगल्स. फर्स्टली उनको एक्सटीरियर एंगल होना पड़ेगा और सेकेंड उनको अलग अलग साइड ऑफ ट्रांसवर्सल पे लाई करना पड़ेगा. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, सो दिस एंगल 2 and angle 8 and this angle 1 and 7. These are the angles that are lying at the exterior side and these are lying at the opposite side of transversal. Okay students, so this was all about alternate exterior angles. Okay students, now students, last thing that we are talking about this particular concept is that the angles that are lying on the same side of transversal. Okay students, angles that are lying on the same side of transversal. Okay, one side of transversal, so if I'm talking about this first side and this is second side, then on this first side this is single side of transversal, then the angles lying on this side of transversal is angle 2, angle 3, angle 6 and angle 7. These four angles are lying at the first side of transversal and second side of transversal. So on the second side of transversal, the angles lying are 1, 4, 5 and 8. Okay, 1, 4, 5 and 8. Okay students, so this is all about the angles that are on the second side of transversal. Okay students, now students, if it is asked from you, then tell me the angles that are interior and lying at the same side of transversal. What will you tell me? This 4 and 5 and this 3 and 6, and these two angles are supplementary angles. Okay students, so this was all about the concept of exercise 5.2 students. I hope that it is now crystal clear to you all. Okay students, now we'll be practicing some questions of the exercise in the next class students. Till then students, do practice at your home. We'll be meeting in your next class doing the exercise. Okay, till then students, have a nice day, all of you. Bye bye.